Welcome back, Caddy Corner, episode 93. I'm Austin.
And I'm Caleb.
We're back.
Yes, we are.
In the school set.
Yeah.
Cool. Vibey, you know what I mean? Our favorite set, Caleb's favorite set.
Yeah, I love this.
Yeah.
Yeah, these mics are so sick, and it just makes me feel real nice and professional.
That's what we do. You know what I
we
mean?
do it here.
So this is the 2023 recap and also 2024 upcoming, like look forward type situation. We're just going to talk about the past year, basically, and do what we normally do, podcast style. So if that sounds interesting, rate and review the show, like, comment, subscribe, do all of that kind of stuff. We do this show every Friday, audio and video, and then audio only on Wednesday, Caddy Corner After Hours. So check those out. And instead of Caleb taking it away, I guess I'm going to take it away, which is weird.
Yeah.
So I want to start, and we want to talk about a little bit of some stuff that happened in 2023 in, like, the world. I didn't go, like, super, like, I don't know, stuff that I feel like is super memorable, because those are kind of obvious. I wanted to talk about some stuff that I feel like just kind of happened in, I don't know, different than, like, mainstream stuff. So in 2023, AI took over the world.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about that? That's only been a year.
Yeah, yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
It feels like it's been longer than that.
Yeah, because it's gotten so much better.
Yeah, I also like I don't use it really anymore.
Yeah, you've pivoted a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I understand.
And it's not that I'm against it or whatever. It's just that I don't.
Hasn't found a place in the workflow.
Not yet.
I get it.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I feel too.
Yeah, because for a while it was something that I was like just trying, just to see if, because it was cool to play around.
Totally.
Because even then it didn't have a place in the workflow. It was just like messing around.
Yeah.
Just to see if like I could find a place for it to live, and I just never found that.
Right.
I don't know. It's cool. It's really cool, and I think that definitely as it grows and it gets better, then possibly. But I just don't think that it has a place in the creative field right now.
Unless it's like for like automation. Like I've definitely seen people who use it for like cutting TikTok clips out of a long form thing.
Oh yeah,
stuff that like a robot can kind of do.
Yeah.
So it can definitely do that. But from the angle that we take it from, like we don't make short form content really. Do you know what I mean? Like we don't. The ideas that we come up with for the podcast, like we have to be genuinely interested in, otherwise they suck.
Yeah.
And I mean that's been proven by the data. I mean we've made podcasts that we've just made for the sake of making them, and we don't come dialed, and they're bad. You know what I mean?
Right.
So you can't just like type into ChatGPT what podcast should I make today and then do it, and then like unless you are genuinely interested.
Yeah.
So, but there's obviously other forms of AI too. But it's just so interesting to think that it was a this year thing. It was 2023. It was all, do you know what I mean?
Right.
So crazy to think about how that was the case.
Yeah, and I mean, I guess like the way that I kind of think about it is AI to me right now is like ChatGPT, And I know that I shouldn't think about it that way because it's so much bigger than that.
Yeah.
Because Apple Maps uses it,
Right. I mean, Tesla drives itself.
Yeah, all these apps are using it, and that's been a thing that's been around way longer than 2023. But that's kind of what I was like.
I got you. Yeah, totally. Yeah, but it's just it's I mean mainstream AI. It's like the internet,
Right?
Because the internet was a thing before it was an iMac in everybody's house. You know what I mean?
Right.
So another thing that I feel like was a big talking point and then kind of went under the radar for the rest of 2023 was the Ocean Gate submarine tragedy.
Yeah.
I was thinking about that whenever I was making this list. I mean, nobody's thinking about that anymore, and that's like a crazy thing that happened.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
The ocean's a scary place, man.
Yeah. R.I.P. to those guys.
Yeah.
That was a crappy situation. It really was.
Definitely.
It was.
The internet had a field day with that too.
Yeah, I feel as if it was rushed a little bit.
Totally.
The submarine obviously wasn't up to code, wasn't up to the standards of submarining.
And it's also important to consider that we don't know anything about the ocean. That's what I took away from that situation.
Yeah.
We don't know how to traverse the ocean. We never really have. Underneath, at least. We got this whole boats thing figured out, I think. But
yeah, the boats thing is.
Yeah, we got that.
Yeah, that's a pretty big.
I don't personally understand that, but
yeah,
but submarines make way more sense to me because I think boats should sink too, to be honest.
Right.
But we don't have the whole submarine thing figured out. So, but it's just interesting to think that like we live near an ocean, and we don't know anything about an ocean, and we don't live near space. But we know more about space than we know about the ocean. So crazy to think about that, I think.
Yeah, and then if you're big into conspiracies and stuff, NASA, they used to search the ocean. You know that?
No.
Yeah, they started as an ocean little thing.
Sure, yeah.
You know, and then the conspiracy theory is they found something scary in the ocean, and then they moved to space and tried to get people like off planet Earth, which is like
Whoa.
kind of weird.
That's interesting.
Because you know how they're trying to like
Move people to Mars.
go to the
Yeah.
moon, go to Mars, go to the space station,
Right, what's
all
the
this
rush?
stuff. Yeah,
I got you.
you know.
What an interesting situation to be in.
Yeah, that's kind of weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, the ocean is crazy because we only have discovered 5% of the ocean.
And like, who's even to say we've discovered that much? Do you know
Exactly,
what
because you don't know how much is there.
I mean?
Obviously, you
understand.
genuinely do.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, I think that's crazy.
Yeah, it's that's what I really took away from that situation. Like looking back at it for the sake of like this podcast was, the ocean's a crazy place, and we
Yeah.
don't know anything. I think that's like so fascinating. Is like not knowing stuff. That's so crazy. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah, and I like to keep it that way.
Me too.
I don't think I need to know about the ocean.
Well, I mean, if stuff comes up, it's like cool to know. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? But it's like I just think it's important to acknowledge that like we have no idea what is in there.
really. No idea.
So interesting. I think so
Yeah,
interesting.
that's crazy.
And then this is kind of the last point that I like wanted to just talk on for the sake of the podcast, which is like the TikTok trials were this year. Do you remember the TikTok trials?
Yeah.
Those were a huge thing for like a while.
Yeah.
And it was such a weird like time. I remember being in class and I was in a class that was like talking about like media, like social media. I mean, here obviously, and we were talking about that like every day, and it's like, what are our like opinions on the TikTok trials and stuff like that? And obviously, like nothing really came of it outside of like, I don't know. I think like people just paying a little bit more attention, but like not really caring. And so I just think it's interesting. you know?
Yeah.
I think it's interesting that like we've gotten to the point where with social media, I think, and I don't think it's like necessarily a bad thing. I just think it's a thing where we're so dependent on like the entertainment or the value or whatever TikTok like brings to your life that we don't necessarily care about the privacy aspect of really anything.
Mm-mm.
And I definitely feel that way.
Yeah.
Like being able to watch TikTok is way more important to me than like somebody knowing my name in like
Right.
Malaysia. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know if you feel the same way, but that's how I feel.
Yeah. I mean, I feel the same way. I think if I didn't feel the same way, then I would have like hung up
Yeah.
TikTok, and I never did. Just because, like, yeah, I don't care.
Yeah.
But that's another one of those things where it's like in the field that we currently work in or want to pursue.
Right. We don't necessarily have a choice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
People are gonna know our names
Right.
because like we're on social media.
Yeah.
So if it's someone in California, like they're gonna figure out our names, or if it's someone in China, like
Yeah.
they're gonna figure out our names too. It's just one of those things that
Right.
you have to deal with. And yeah, I mean that doesn't bother me at all.
No. And obviously
Because
there's probably more than just like your name is going out there. But
Yeah.
it's like but I don't care either.
No.
Unless it's like my bank information.
Yeah,
But it's
don't-
like you have to give that away.
Yeah, don't steal my money,
Right.
and then I'll be fine.
Yeah.
Like I don't buy stuff from the TikTok shop.
No.
Because I don't feel like putting my
Right.
bank information on that app
Right.
because of the things that have like come out about TikTok.
But it's like people have bought stuff and they've been fine.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
exactly.
Like it's probably safer than Temu.
Oh, it's definitely safer than Temu
Yeah.
for sure.
But that's what I think is like super interesting is it's just like we enjoy like user generated content so much as like a society, especially
Yeah.
people that are our age. It just doesn't matter like what goes into it. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Like what like repercussions there are, or if there are even any, or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
I don't know. The TikTok trials are just like a very interesting part of this year that completely I feel like nobody's thought of since April or whenever they were taking place. So yeah. So that's what I've got. Do you have any like off the top of your head that you like think of off the top of your head? You don't like have to. I just was wondering.
I mean,
yeah. Those are just ones that I thought were interesting to talk about. There's like
Yeah.
obviously there's like a lot of general stuff that
Right.
is happening or whatever the case may be.
Yeah,
But I just thought that those were like interesting things that who knows, we might not have even remembered that these happened in like 5 years. So it's like
Yeah.
cool to kind of archive them.
yeah, that's true.
Okay, so I guess now we're going to get into the personal sections of 2023, kind of our experiences, what we did, what we didn't do, whatever the case may be. So for this, I'll hand it away to Caleb to take the lead.
Sounds good. Yeah, I think that my kind of life really changed in 2023. Whenever it comes to my career path, I think everything started falling into place a little bit more in 2023 than it has in the past. And so with that, I'm very thankful. And so I'm going to just like got a list of things that happened that kind of set me down the path of working or whatever. So first is my RCCC internship that happened in 2023. That was like the craziest thing ever. It was kind of just a spur of the moment thing. It was like I'm interested, and then they were like, well, come on, talk to us, bring a portfolio or whatever. So I put one together real quick because I didn't have one yet, and went down, talked to the guy, and he was like, when can you start? I was like, whoa, wasn't expecting that. And at the beginning, it was supposed to be unpaid, which I was totally cool with, and then it ended up like being a paid internship, and I had to like become an employee of the college, which it was just like a cool thing, and being able to work with their team and do all the stuff that eventually I want to be able to do after I graduate college. But being able to do that before I graduated college was just like a really eye-opening situation, experience.
Kind of your first creative professional thing, yeah.
Yeah, it was exactly that. And so, yeah, that was super cool. Just to be able to know that at the end of college, it's like I don't have to worry about being able to find a job because I just know I'm going to be able to find one.
Right.
Because I've already found one.
And it's real. That changes everything, I think, too.
Yeah, and so just knowing that the opportunities are there made a big difference and kind of took the stress away from being like, oh, I'm going to pursue this because this is something that I really love. But it's like, maybe I'm going to be able to make money. Maybe I'm not.
Right.
But now there's no question.
Yeah.
Because I've already made money doing it. So I know that I'm going to be able to. Yeah. And so that was super, super sick.
Yeah.
That was like the coolest thing.
It changes everything. It changes everything. I remember having that too because like that's the similar thing. Like I've just done like a couple of different versions of like media internships like here.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, it's exactly like you said, like understanding and just knowing that those jobs exist because especially like where we're from, it doesn't seem like they exist. Do you know what I mean? Unless you make them yourself.
Yeah, so that was kind of, for some of you know my story already, but for some of you don't. I was doing nursing, and that was my plan because family members were basically shooing me towards that job path because of the money.
Yeah,
and
safety.
Sure.
It's like security.
Yeah, job security, and that makes a ton of sense, and I appreciate them for doing that.
Mm-hmm.
But then it was junior year of high school, or I guess it was technically senior year of high school, and then it was I changed. Like I'd been doing stuff in the studio and really like digging in, and that was just what I was putting my hours in at the time. Like I was in nursing fundamentals, but I was also in the studio, and I was putting way more hours in the studio than I was in nursing, and because I just enjoyed it more. And so then that was kind of whenever I started thinking, like talking to my parents, being like, this is something that I really think I want to do. And then they were like, shoot for it. And so I always remember the day that I told Mullis that I wasn't going to nursing school and that I was going to school for digital media production. And it was like, that was the proudest that he had ever been of me for like making that decision.
Yeah.
And that is kind of where it all switched. But even at that point, it was still one of those things where it was like, this is what I want to do, and I'm going to shoot for the stars. But it's like, it might not work.
Right.
And at that point, I was more like, it's probably not going to work just because of where we live and all the stuff. But then as like life has happened and all the stuff and all the opportunities that I've had, it's like definitely going to work.
Yeah.
And I know that for a fact.
Totally.
So
yeah, it's super interesting. And that's a similar thing to like what I have written down too is like, I feel like this year I took creative serious. First time in my whole life. You know what I mean? Like really. I mean, I made more videos than I've ever made in 2023.
Right.
I've done different kinds of like projects than I've ever done before. You know what I mean? We made a documentary.
Yeah.
We've done like so many different kinds of like interview style videos, and like I've even had to do like design type stuff. Like, and I hate that, but it's like I've tried, and it's like it's like getting better. And so I think like that was one of the things that I really wanted to do in 2023 was diversify, like learn how to do different things in the in the world that like we're trying to pursue. And I definitely feel like to some degree like I did that, got better with different kinds of videos and got better at understanding like what works and what doesn't work. You know what I mean? And like understanding also like the different ways that different kinds of like content affect like work for different things. Like a flyer is different than a website, and that's different than a podcast, which is different than a video. And those things all operate independently.
Right.
They work together, but they also affect people in different ways.
Yeah.
And I think it's important to think about it that way. I definitely learned that in 2023, and it's super important, I think, to, I don't know, like understanding the different ways in which, especially in our field, the different ways in which you can make stuff and the different ways that it affects the audience.
Yeah.
Is so important, I think, to consider. And I'm sure it's that way with other careers as well. I don't like know the answer to that question, obviously, but And I definitely feel like, we were able to try those things in different kinds of ways and just like get better. Like I got so much better at editing videos this year. It's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And that's just because of reps
Mm-hmm.
at the end of the day. You know what I mean? And so that was really like from a creative perspective and from like a professional perspective. I mean, like I'm an editor. That's what I do today. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But,
Yeah, that's like the second thing on my list is like starting here and figuring out that I am a video editor.
yeah.
That is exactly what I learned this semester, because I knew that is what I enjoyed to do the most, but I didn't really believe that was what I was best at until this semester.
Yeah.
Bro, like working on the doc and editing the doc, just like it all
clicked.
It all made sense right then. Whenever we started that project, it just all made sense because everything that went into that project before and all the other projects that we did this semester too, or that I worked on this semester, everything that like went into it pre-editing was just like, something that I had to do.
Right.
But then it was like, whenever I got in that timeline, it was just like, everything makes more sense now, and that is just so, like, I'm so happy that I figured that out, like, now.
Right.
Instead of trying to figure that out working in the field or whatever, because, like, now I can go and, like, start talking to people about, like, job opportunities and be like, what I do is editing videos. So that I don't have to be like, well, I like to edit videos, but I don't really know if that's what I want to do because I don't know if I'm really that good at it yet. That's not even a question anymore. Because
and it's also powerful, too. Like, knowing what you're best at when it comes to the process makes it so much easier to do everything else.
Yeah.
That's how I feel, at least. Because it's like, whenever I go shoot something, it's like, I'll fix it in the edit.
Yeah.
And that is like a superpower, I think.
Yeah. Yeah, I always feel like that.
Yeah, me too.
I always feel like that.
And that's a crazy, because you just come at it from a different perspective. You know what I mean? Because it's like I would imagine, at least, I haven't made a video not thinking that I was nasty at editing in a long time. So that's important to consider. But, like, imagine going and shooting and then coming back and dumping your card and being like, what am I going to do with this?
Yeah, not knowing how to fix it.
Because I never feel that way now. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's definitely like, but it's just like one of those things where it's like finding something that you're good at is a crazy thing.
Yeah.
And I think about that all the time because, I mean, it's just insane. You know what I mean? To like be good at something and like know that you're good at something. Whether or not you had to like, maybe you're just talented, maybe you worked to get there, maybe you put the reps in and you finally like get over the hump and you're like, I got this. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whatever it is for you. But it's like a crazy feeling, especially like for us where it's like making something out of nothing. It's probably the same thing for like like people who build stuff.
Yeah.
Like you just have like a pile of materials and the next thing you know, there's like a barn. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
It's like, I'm nasty at that. I can do that. You know what I mean? That's a crazy feeling, I think. For me, 2023, probably the biggest thing, honestly, was I got so good at like building a routine and then taking a break with school and then coming back and rebuilding my routine. I got so good at that. That is another superpower, I think.
Yeah.
Because like we've talked about it literally so much on the podcast, but like I think as a human you crave routine. I think it's so valuable. It just makes everything go smoother. It allows you to like be productive, which I think is obviously like it's what we're here to do at the end of the day. But being able to build a routine is so important, and I got so much better at like organization, especially organization, and like just every aspect of it, like tracking goals and setting goals and building a routine around that and understanding that I'm doing school and like trying to get better at making videos, and those things don't necessarily coincide even though they sort of do. So how do I do both at the same time? And being able to do stuff like that I think is super valuable. And that definitely like took a lot of work because I'm like I said, I'm not an organized person naturally at all.
Yeah.
I'm also not like a planning person at all naturally. So it takes some forcing, but it makes your life go way smoother. And I think I learned that in 2023 for sure. Number one is that I work best in a routine, and if I want to produce high quality stuff, regardless of what that is, or just have good results in anything, I have to have a routine that like makes sense. Yeah. But also like understanding like how important it is to like have a calendar and like write stuff down. I think that's so important.
Yeah. Yeah. One of the biggest things that I learned in 2023 is to work towards my portfolio, like with every project, because that is not really something that I would say that I was the best at. Before I would make stuff that I would be like proud of, but wasn't proud enough to like put it in my portfolio, And so this semester, and I know we talk about the documentary all the time, but it's the biggest thing that I've ever worked on, and so I feel like it has to have its place
for sure
in my like talking about it or whatever. And so like with that project, it's the biggest thing that I've ever worked on ever, and so that was something that I knew from the very beginning that whenever I graduate and I go to like find a job or whatever, that's the project I'm showing them, because like how could I not?
Yeah.
Why would I show them like the 5-minute like stop motion film that I made,
right?
And then whenever that is on the table, so it just taught me that like I should take every project as seriously as I took that, even if it's not as big of a production as that was. And so I think that is one thing that I took away from 2023 for sure. It's just like make every project like that kind of standard, because that was only the standard for that, because at the end I knew we were going to premiere it. So like I didn't really work on it that hard for myself or for Kane or for you.
Right.
It was for the people who I was going to show it to after, because I wanted them to think that it was good.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, it's like I should work on every project that hard just for myself, so that it can benefit me whenever I go to get a job or whatever.
Right.
So
yeah, my last point is the same thing, but it's a little different in the sense that like for us as people who are pursuing like the creative field, it's different than like people who are pursuing like medical or people who are pursuing like true business type stuff, where it's like all they need is the skill, they don't need like the proof. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Which sounds like kind of counterintuitive, but it's like your degree is the proof for so many different fields. But for us, it's like, at least from my perspective, not really that way.
Right.
But also, it's important to consider that like with the creative field, you're not just making videos. It's like you can do photo. And that was one of the things that I learned from like one of my classes was we made like a brand kit with different kinds of like promotional material for one of my classes last semester. It's like I made a whole pitch deck, and I like don't think about it that way, but it's like I made that with like a like a video and like a podcast and like a press release and like a like a journalism article and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Which I think is obviously like super valuable to like think about it that way, because it's like different, like if I'm applying for a job to be like the media guy at some like local business, they're going to value being able to do all different kinds of like promotional work or whatever kind of stuff that they're looking for, not necessarily just being like the video guy. And I thought about that too, because like I enjoyed like making a promotional deck. It's like cool, you know what I mean? It's like you get to do all of those different kinds of things, and that's one of the things I learned too. Is like I don't just like making videos. Like I like to like sitting at my desk and like writing an essay is not a chore for me. Like I don't, as long as the subject matter is interesting or whatever, if I can find something to talk about, like I like that. I like this medium. There's nothing creative about what we're doing right now. We're just talking into microphones.
Yeah.
But like this is still like something that I think is like fun to do. I mean, obviously, I guess. So like understanding that you can do different things within the same, and understanding how big, like what does being a creative professional mean, dude? It means nothing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can do anything.
Yeah.
So I think like, again, like diversification, but it's like building everything into your portfolio that you work on. I learned that too. So important.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. All right. So now the big new year, new us or whatever, 2024.
It's insane. I've got some things that we can talk about though for the sake of the world and the culture, like I said before.
Yeah, go ahead.
I only have two. And they're just kind of like things that I'm excited for. So in 2024 and in like a month, the Apple Vision Pro comes out. Like people are going to be able to buy that.
Yeah.
I don't think I've ever been so excited to watch YouTube videos in my whole life.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm excited to see that thing in action. I'm excited to watch the Marquez Brownlee video on that because it's going to be unbelievable.
Yeah.
I definitely understand, like, I don't know. Whenever Apple comes into a market late and, people get all annoyed about it because they don't understand that they make good stuff.
Yeah, got to perfect it.
But I'm so excited because I don't like VR, but this isn't really VR.
Right.
I think as a creative professional, it's so exciting to be able to like see this thing in its infancy.
Yeah.
I'm so excited. I can see it taking over the world. I can also see it not, but I can see it really working. I don't know if you have. I don't think we've ever talked about Vision Pro on the show. So
yeah, I don't think so. I'm excited to see like what it's about.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's definitely going to take I think it's definitely going to take some time.
100%.
Like, I don't think that I would want to be the first person to buy it.
Mm-mm.
But
Right
I
now,
do,
it's too big, in my opinion.
Yeah, I do think that after it comes out and they get a bunch of people, making YouTube videos about it, trying it out, all the stuff, then working the kinks out, I think that it can definitely be something that's like
Totally.
crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm not a VR guy either.
Mm-mm.
But yeah, like you said, like you're not using this to like play video games.
No.
So,
And if you are, then that's like fine if that works for you. But like that's like what it would be for me is like you put that on and then there's your Final Cut timeline.
Right.
And it's nice and huge.
yeah.
And you can see it all and it's nice and crispy. You
So-
know what I mean? Yeah. And honestly, really what I'm excited for with AR, like my dream is that instead of wearing an Apple Watch, I can wear like glasses and it's like a HUD. That is like my dream.
Yeah.
So
I mean, that would be like the coolest thing ever.
that would be the coolest thing ever. Because then I don't have to wear an Apple Watch. We can wear a real watch. It'd be pretty sweet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
And then
like some icy.
Dude, yeah, dripped out. You know what I mean? Just me over here. The last kind of thing, and this is like something that I pay attention to every year, but I think it's super interesting just going into every year. But how does social media evolve again this year?
I don't know.
Think about this. We lost Twitter last year.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy to think about?
Mm-hmm.
We lost it. It's gone completely. Toast.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I'm excited
what
for
do you
like
want to see in social next year?
I don't.
I have an answer.
I'm excited for something new,
Mm-hmm.
but I just don't know what. I think I want to see an app like Reddit kind of take over.
Sure, like a text-based situation.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm into that.
Uh-huh.
I could sit on Reddit and scroll in subreddits for just
So
hours
I
just
would-
reading.
I would probably call that like long form text based.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's different than Twitter in that way.
Yeah, because Reddit, I love Reddit.
Yeah.
It's not like my go-to, but it's like if I have a question about something that's like oddly specific,
Yeah, they got that.
that I know that Google can't answer and I know that YouTube can't answer, that's like where I go.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, and if you're looking for like products, Reddit is a great place
good.
just to like see what people have to say about products and stuff. I mean, I love Reddit.
Yeah.
I love Reddit. It's incredible.
Reddit's great.
But I don't know. I feel like nobody can do Reddit better than Reddit.
No. And I don't think that our attention spans, generally speaking, are set up for Reddit to take over yet.
Yeah, I mean,
what
I
I
guess not.
That's what I think about. But what I think is going to happen in 2024 from social perspective, honestly, is I think we're going to I think that YouTube specifically is going to slow down on the like Mr. Beast style stuff, like the super
Yeah.
fast paced, the stupidly sharp, over sharpened thumbnails. I think it's going to go back to like regular YouTube video type stuff.
Yeah,
And that's what I want to see, obviously. So I'm like super biased towards that. But it's like less optimization, more style. Like bring the craftsmanship back into making YouTube videos.
right.
There's already like examples of that, so it's like not like a super bold prediction. But that's what I would really like to see.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. That doesn't really bother me because I know that those videos aren't targeted towards like me and you.
Totally.
Like they're definitely more targeted towards children,
Well, and like they're just targeted towards everybody.
and so I
Yeah.
think that kind of content makes sense in that
Totally.
way. But it's like I'm so out of touch with that because I've never
Hmm.
like I don't even know the last time that I watched a Mr. Beast video.
Yeah. But I guess what I
Like-
mean is like what I want is for there to be less influence from Mr. Beast into like every YouTube video ever. You know what
right.
I mean?
Yeah.
So like just like less opening the video with a whoosh and then like really loud talking. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah.
Like, tell me a story.
I understand that.
Yeah. And it
Yeah.
it does exist, but I think it's gonna become like more mainstream. Is like what I mean, I guess.
Yeah, I hope so.
Me too.
Yeah, I think that would be epic.
And the same thing with short form vertical. I think that there's like a level because that's what I've been
Yeah.
seeing a lot of on TikTok, and obviously like that's the niche that like I want to see. So TikTok's
Right.
really good at that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean short form vertical is here to stay, which makes me sad to some degree. I just don't like making it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, it's definitely not the most fun to make.
Yeah,
But
not for us. I mean, like it is. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, I guess.
But I'm not used to it.
Yeah.
Just don't like that. But I don't know. It's always interesting to like think about how like social media is going to evolve. I would like to see an app like Threads do something. For me, Threads is like very much just sick photographers
Yeah.
and like sick photos, which is perfect. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's good for me.
Right.
Um,
Yeah, I hopped off Threads.
Yeah.
I don't know. I never really got onto it. I never was really a Twitter guy.
yeah,
And Threads is just like
the same thing.
Yeah,
For
Meta's
me-
version of that.
Yeah, for
So,
me, my Threads though is completely different than like what I see on Twitter. Completely different.
yeah. I mean, I don't ever use any of them.
Yeah,
I don't get on Instagram ever either. So I don't know. I'm like, yeah, I'm really out of touch of like
yeah,
that kind of content.
right.
Really, the only one that I use, like,
It's TikTok.
yeah,
Yeah,
which is probably not the most healthy thing for me to say, but
it's the same difference.
yeah,
They're all the same thing.
yeah, it doesn't make a difference. We're
Yeah.
taking in content either way, but
It'll be fun to look back at this show at the end of the year and see if we got any of this stuff like remotely correct.
yeah,
All right. 2024 upcoming.
yeah,
These are just kind of things that we, I guess, like want to try and do in 2024,
yeah,
or maybe have started on already, depending on who knows.
yeah,
Take it away.
yeah. So the first thing on the list for me is we're taking a photography class this semester. I really want to get inspired
Mm-hmm.
because I love photography,
Mm-hmm.
and I really think that is like a path that I want to go in. Like, is becoming maybe like a
Photographer.
super amateur photographer.
Mm-hmm.
You know, because I don't want to be great. You know, I don't want to buy the greatest camera. Like, I don't want to take the greatest photos.
Mm-hmm.
I just want to go out there and have fun. You know, just shoot and see if I can come up with something cool.
Right.
But like, yeah, that is definitely a dream for me, is being a photographer.
Really.
You know, like, I don't want to shoot weddings.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be professional
Mm-hmm.
at all. Like, I'll take your prom pictures.
Mhm.
You know, I'll take some pictures of you if you want to.
Right.
Like,
The money's right.
yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but I just wanna like take more photos
Yeah.
this year.
It's a good move. I think that's like one of the points that I have too is I want to get really good at using a camera.
Yeah,
Like how I think I spent 2023 getting really good at editing
yeah,
video specifically. I want to spend 2024 getting really good at using a camera.
yeah.
And I don't feel like I've ever really done that.
Well, you are in the perfect spot right now with the new camera.
I know. Yeah, I know.
Dude. Once you learn how to use that thing, you're
Yeah,
unstoppable.
and it's like it's already set up. Like
Yeah.
I already customized the buttons to how I like it. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? It's like I know how to shoot video. I know how a camera works. It's just like a matter of like getting really, and that's not what I mean. Like I don't mean like I need to I need to learn how ISO works. I need to learn how to use an ND filter. And
Yeah,
I know
Well,
that.
cameras are so weird because you can know exactly how a camera works.
Mhm.
You can know the ins and outs of technologically of a camera, but if you can't look at your LCD screen
Mhm.
and tell what's wrong with it,
Right.
then you're no good at using
Yeah.
a camera. Like, even if you know that, like, oh, the ISO is like 32,000 right now, you know, and we're outside,
Yeah.
like,
Right.
like you can
And
know
it's
that.
like noon.
Yeah, you can know that, and then
Yeah.
and be like, okay, whatever. But like, there's a difference between being like good with a camera
Mhm.
and being like cinematographer. Like,
Totally.
being a cinematographer.
Totally.
And like being cinematic with
Mhm.
a camera, because learning how to be cinematic and getting cinematic shots, which as a videographer, that's what you want to do.
Mhm.
You want your videos to look cinematic and sick and whatever.
Right.
But that's a tough thing to do.
Totally.
But the best way to do it is get a new camera and just figuring out how it
Yeah.
works.
Totally. And I think like too, one of the things that I really want to get good at too is like shooting photos full manual with all of my buttons and like just get really comfortable at like where the stuff's at. I mean, that's what I mean. It's like having a new camera. It's super easy because it's like
Yeah.
I set it up to be what I want it to be. But exactly like what you said, like it's just reps.
Yeah.
So I just want to be intentional about like carrying a camera around every day, shooting stuff, editing it. Like one of the things that I'm doing this year, I think I'm going to try and do is like every month be like really intentional about writing stuff down that I like want to do. And I think one of the things that I have written down for January is like I want to take 15 photos that I'm like happy with.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's like a high number or a low number. We'll see. But like
Right.
it's like a good thing to kind of like. I just mean like shot and edited, happy with these.
Yeah.
And I mean like that's just like a good way to like get out there and have reps and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
yeah, I just
100%.
want to get really good at using a camera.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Yeah, well, I'm gonna take it away from content for a second. I mean, I guess it's still technically content,
Right,
but just in a completely different form. I want to play more live music this year.
Oh, let's go.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've been working with a band. You
Oh,
know,
yeah?
sort of.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just me and another guy right now.
Right.
We had a band once, and then they all quit. So then we're just doing our own thing right now, going solo.
Mhm.
Uh,
How's it going?
it's going.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's actually really good. We're like really close,
Mm,
which is like fun.
that's sick.
Yeah.
Yeah. How's that process? You love that process?
Oh, I love that process.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really, really do.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's I mean, it's like, obviously it's a burden,
Mhm.
you know, because it takes a lot of time.
Totally.
You know, it takes a lot of time on my own part, like learning all the stuff, like learning the set list. We got a set list of 36 songs, which is a lot of music,
Mhm.
you know, a lot of stuff to learn. But dude, yeah, it's just so rewarding because like you put the hours in and like you play guitar until your fingers hurt so bad. But as soon as you like sit down with another person who's like also been doing the same thing, and then like you come together and it just like works.
Yeah,
dude,
it's
like
sick
the
feeling.
coolest feeling. Yeah, and then you just like you all you can think about is just like playing music in front of people. Like that's all you can think about.
Yeah.
And dude, I cannot wait for that. Like
Yeah.
the first day, I'm so stoked.
Yeah, that's sick.
But we're like close.
Yeah?
So yeah, I'm super stoked for that.
That's sick. That's super sick.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And me and him, we have like the same kind of like dream. You know, like our dream is to like go to Nashville, like record music, and like he's been before, so like that's sick. Like he knows some guys, and so he's basically like whenever we're ready,
Right. We're going.
like yeah,
That's sick.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's like
What an interesting position to find yourself in, right?
I don't understand
It just works for you.
how
Yeah.
I am the luckiest son of gun
Yeah.
in the whole wide world.
Right.
It doesn't make any sense to me.
Right. But that's one of those times. It's one of those things. I feel the same way a lot of the time too. It's like you just have to stop thinking about how. It doesn't matter how.
Yeah,
Do you know what I mean?
it really
Who
doesn't.
cares how it happened?
Right.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's so
Because my brain can never comprehend like how it happened.
Yeah.
But all I know is that I'm gonna take
the opportunity.
yeah
Yeah.
I'm gonna take it and I'm gonna go
Right.
and I'm just gonna keep on running because I feel like that's what you have to do.
That's the way that I feel too, because it's like the way that I feel about it is like if I didn't take the opportunity, like I'm good at like using a camera, making videos. I have the gear. It would just be there's so many people out there who want to make videos but don't have the opportunity.
Right.
There's so many people out there who want to like play guitar but like can't.
Yeah,
Or they want to be in a band or they can't. 'Cause
Yeah.
There's nobody around them or whatever the case may
Right.
be. So you just you're like doing a disservice to all of those people.
Right.
And that's how I feel.
Yeah.
That way it makes me feel all guilty and stuff.
yeah.
You know?
Yeah. But yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
whatever.
Boom.
But
One thing that I want to do in 2024 is we've talked about this on the podcast a lot, but like not super in depth. I've always talked about how like my hands suck in the real life world and like are just useless. I want to try and like fix that
yeah,
to some degree.
I would recommend it for sure.
Yeah. And I mean like I'm definitely overblowing it like a little bit, but it's like I think like I want to be intentional about doing things. The way that I have it written down is I want to do analog things and do it intentionally and improve.
Yeah.
Across the board.
Right.
Right?
Yeah.
And I think that that's just like interesting because it's not like I'm anti. It's just that I know that I'm like not good at it naturally, and like you don't want to do things that you're not good at naturally. At least
Right.
That's the way that I feel.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I just want to try and like, I don't know, I don't know what that means. It's kind of a very loose goal, but
Yeah, but that's like one of the coolest things too. Is like fixing something.
yeah,
There's nothing like it.
I know I've done that a couple times.
Yeah.
And I've been like, this is insane.
Yeah, there's really nothing like it.
Yeah,
And this is it sounds like such a selfish thing to say. Maybe I'm just a selfish guy. I don't even know. But
nothing wrong with that. You got to
yeah,
be.
I mean, I feel like I'm not, but maybe I am. But whenever like there's anything wrong, and then somebody's like, "I know a guy," and like you're the guy.
Mm-hmm. That's how I feel too, because I like just being useful. That's that's one of the things that I've like learned over like the course of just like a little bit is like I don't know. I just like being I like being the guy who has the pocket knife whenever somebody needs something cut. I like, you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
Even like when I'm at work, like I just like being somebody that can do stuff.
Yeah.
And like be useful. It's just like a good feeling. Maybe it's a dude thing.
I'm sure it is.
But I don't think it's everyone. Definitely isn't everyone. But I just like feeling like useful. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's a cool thing, but it's like everybody has skills. It's just a matter of figuring that out. But yeah, I want to like do things and just figure. I don't know what that means, but it's like do something, get better at doing stuff in the real life world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My last thing that I have written down is I just want to make more like stuff. You know, and I don't even know what that means right now.
Right.
But like I want to take more pictures. I want to make more videos. I want to like play more music. So like I just want to do more stuff.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I mean, however that starts, like I guess it does. I mean, you know, been brainstorming, you know, like writing stuff down. Got some like ideas or whatever, but just gotta like start it. I think school is the best place to do that because
100%.
yeah,
It just depends on how you are. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Like, I think that what school is uniquely good at for people that are like us, and I'm not saying that this is like the boat that you fall in. I just think that this is like something that is there. Is it like it forces you to make videos in our case,
right.
and that is like obviously a net positive. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or it at least gets you like in a room with people who are talking about making videos, and then you're like, I should go home and talk about something to my camera real quick. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? So that is like, I mean, exactly.
Yeah.
You know that.
So
Yeah, make more stuff. It's a sick. Yeah. My last one is try something new.
yeah.
And I don't really know what that means yet either.
Yeah.
But I just want to do something, I don't know, something fun that I've like never really done before that I'm like interested in.
Yeah, and maybe that's what I mean too.
Yeah.
Like maybe I don't want to make more stuff. Like maybe I don't want to make more stuff that I already know how to make, but maybe
Right.
I do just want to like make something new that I don't know how to do. Like I said, I wanted to build a guitar.
Yeah.
Like maybe that's what I'm.
Yeah.
Like that's what I'm missing.
Do you
right
want to
now.
know? So whenever I wrote this goal, I did this entire section of my notes last night whenever I was watching YouTube videos. And I think a way to know something that you like that you've like not really done before is like, what are you watching on YouTube? Because last night I was watching so many like camping videos. It was unbelievable. It's like maybe that's what we need to do.
Yeah, I know. I was just telling Sydney about how there's this guy that I watch that like goes camping in Alaska like all the time.
Is it Outdoor Boys?
No.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know what this guy's name is,
Gotcha.
but yeah, like it's just like always my suggested.
Yeah.
Whenever it's like
Yeah.
nighttime, and
Dude,
I just
they're
go to my
so
suggested, and
satisfying.
I just like
There's nothing
turn
like
it on.
those camping videos on YouTube are unbelievable.
yeah,
They're
that-
unbelievable.
Exactly what I told her was I was like, that is the dream for me. I was like,
Camping?
yeah,
Yeah.
like being able to make enough money from like
Yeah.
making camping videos
Yeah.
on YouTube.
Yeah.
Dude, I've made it.
Dude, I watch a lot of content creators that are like that because I
Yeah.
just like I just like it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like I like because one of my favorite things to do like in my entire life I've ever done is like going on national park trips and taking photos. That's my
Yeah.
favorite thing to do that I've ever really done, I think, and like making videos and stuff in those kinds of places. But then it's like I also like love the gear aspect. I love the gear aspect of everything. Like I love to know the stuff that people like use, and there's so much that goes into the camping stuff. And then it's
Yeah.
like I'm watching camping gear videos and I don't even know what a camp stove is. Now I'm confused.
Right.
And I'm watching more videos. It's the ultimate rabbit hole, and I'm just so fascinated. So maybe that's what that means. I don't know. But
Yeah.
that was gonna be my advice to you. If that's what you meant is like look at what
Yeah.
you're like what are you watching on YouTube for like entertainment, and then just like see what that means.
Yeah.
So I don't know. Boom. 2023 recap and 2024 whatever upcoming is
Yeah.
what I have written down, but that kind of sucks as a term. So anyway, this is kind of a fun.
This was so fun.
Yeah, super fun. I mean, episodes like this are always going to be fun because it's just super vibey. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
Yeah, this was so
Yeah.
fun.
So yeah, rate and review the show, like, comment, and subscribe if you like the show. I don't blame you. This is really good, to be honest. Yeah, check out every other show we've ever made. Check out Caddy Corner After Hours. It came out a couple days ago. We went for a long time, 40 minutes. Shout out to us. Yeah, I'm Austin. He's Caleb. We're back every single Friday, and we'll see you all then. Peace.
Peace.